Family. What's happening with the squad? It's your favorite auntie with Uncle Tendencies, and I am here talking SEC tournament recap day one. Listen, let the games begin. We was waiting on it, and it's here now. We finna find out who's the best in the SEC. So, we had two games today. Neither one of the games were real earth-shattering. I watched them both. Nobody jumped off the paper as being any different than what I really expected. I didn't see any team that looked like they posed a threat or, that did anything really surprising that made me kind of like raise my eyebrows, like, whoa, they may be somebody to watch out for as far as being a threat to the teams that I think are going to be kind of there fighting at the end. So, like, we had two games today. Kentucky versus Georgia was the first game. Kentucky won that 64-50. It's a pretty comfortable 14-point win for them. For the most part, I just felt like Georgia never really got started, right? They had a run kind of in the third quarter, but they never really got closer than like four. And then, Kentucky kind of put their foot on the gas and finished them on off. But it's interesting. It's interesting because I watch so much Gamecocks basketball that it's almost like when you see teams that played against South Carolina play against each other, they look like different teams. They look like just totally different teams. Kentucky looked like a scrappier team, a tougher team. They seem more well put together. They seem to have better chemistry and work together better against Georgia than they actually did in the game against South Carolina. So I just felt like Coach Elsie had these ladies ready. She got some great guard play out of those ladies today. Brooklyn Miles really step up with Maddie Sher out. And hoping that she can get back into the tournament. I'm not sure. I think she's concussion protocol, something like that. But definitely wasn't available today. She did travel to be with the team on the sideline, which was kind of probably bittersweet for her. Probably chomping at the bit to get out there on the floor and help her team, but definitely there to support, and she cheered them on. But as they as the tournament continues, hoping that she can get back out on the floor if that's an option for her. For Kentucky, really Storm was Asia Petty, of course. You had 11-14-1. You had Anaya Russell with 19-4-3. And then, like I mentioned, Brooklyn Miles really chipped in with 11-5-5. Next up for these ladies is going to be the Tennessee Lady Vols. They lost this season, and they lost last year in the SEC tournament. I think it was kind of like a revenge game for Tennessee. But Kentucky's going to have to be ready to contend with Rakia Jackson. Key if she shows up to play tomorrow. Jasmine Powell, Jewel Spear. I'm expecting Tennessee to win the game pretty easily. But, it's tough to beat the team twice in the same year, as Coach Rowe tells me all the time. But I expect that Tennessee, even if Kentucky plays scrappy like they did today and get that good guard play, I expect Rakia Jackson to be able to lead the Lady Vols to a win tomorrow. Let's see. Game 2 today, we have Florida versus Missouri. Florida won that one 66-60. Again, some great outstanding play from the guards of Florida. It was kind of just like a guard day today, y'all. They really got down. You had Warren go 10-8, 2-2-2. You had Matharu 14-9, 4-1-1. Rimdo went 12-2, and then Leilani Correa 15-3, 3-1. And of course, Leilani, the sixth woman of the year, so a great chance to see her play in a winning opportunity. I hadn't really watched her play a lot, so I see what she brings to the table. Still gonna stick by my pick for sixth woman of the year, and we'll talk about that later. But it was a good win for Florida. Missouri started off pretty good, but the 29-point Florida second quarter kind of really killed their momentum. They had a run at the end to get within like 2 scores at the end of the game, but it was kind of like too little too late. Like I said, they were starting to gain a little momentum. I don't know that the game would have turned out any different if they would have played another 2 to 5 more minutes. Florida only scoring 8 in the third was a big part of how Missouri kind of hung around. But next up for Florida is going to be Vanderbilt. They lost to them by 6 this season. We got 4 games on tomorrow. That's going to be Texas A&M versus Mississippi State. That's going to be at 12 p.m. I will be live for that game, so come and hang out in the chat with me if you are free and around and checking out the games. Excuse me. And if you're at work, kind of want to just work and lurk and not say anything in the chat, come hang out and listen. I'll be giving y'all my in game reaction to this battle, and probably sticking around for Game 4. So we got Tennessee versus Kentucky is going to be that second game, right around 25 minutes after that first game. And then we've got, in the evening, we've got Arkansas versus Auburn. And I'm wondering if Talia Scott's back in Arkansas. If y'all know, let me know in the comments. Wanting to see this young lady play, so hopefully she's back for the tournament to help her team. And hoping that everything is okay, because I know she's been away from the team for a while with personal reasons. And the fourth game is going to be Vanderbilt versus whoever wins. So I think Vanderbilt is going to play. Who did I just say they were playing? I forgot that quick, y'all. Vanderbilt is going to play Florida in the nightcap. So it should be a good round of games tomorrow. When I'm looking at them, I'm expecting Mississippi State to probably beat Texas A&M. I'm expecting Tennessee to beat Kentucky. Auburn, Arkansas. I think Auburn can pull that one out. I'm not sure. Like I said, I haven't seen Talia Scott play. I know that she's a hell of a scorer. But I know that Arkansas has been playing pretty well as a team while she's been away. So that could be a good one. And then Vanderbilt, Florida. Looking to see Correa, see what she does some more. Florida maybe is getting hot kind of right at the right time. So they may be able to kind of pull off a revenge game against Vanderbilt and get a win for them. So we'll be checking them out. And again, like I said, I'll be live starting at 12 tomorrow for those first two games of the day. So come and hang out with me. Now y'all know that I was going to have to say something about the SEC season-ending awards. And immediately when it came out, I recorded a response to it, and I didn't record it because I said I better sit on this one. I better sit on this one a little while. If y'all want to see it, let me know, because I will post it just for y'all to be able to check it out. But my initial reaction, maybe a little bit more fiery than the reaction I'm gonna give now, because I was fired up when the awards first came out. But I took some time to sit on it and take it in and think on it, and I still have the same question, and so I'm still coming to you as the family to help me understand these awards. So I'm gonna go through and tell you who was awarded, what I think, and then y'all jump in the chat and help me understand, what I'm missing. And I understand, I get it, that the season awards are about individual play, I guess, and individual stats. So I get that part, but I guess it's hard for me to understand how at the end of the season there are no awards for a team that did it the right way, for a team that was the standard of excellence throughout the season, has pretty much been the standard of excellence. The program has been pretty much been the standard of excellence over the last 3 years. I think we have a 97-3 record over the last 3 years, so it's been the standard of excellence. And it's a team game. And I guess what blows my mind is that Dawn Staley and her staff and her players, as hard as they work, have figured out the most efficient way to get the job done. They don't use up too many players. Nobody has to be really scoring dominant. Everybody kind of plays defense. They figured out the most efficient way to be able to get the best out of each of their players. And I get it. Nobody's averaging 30 points. Nobody's averaging 22 points. Nobody's averaging 14 points. But we're not losing. We're not losing, right? So I guess, we could get into what ifs, and if Dawn needed one of her players to play like that, I'm sure that that these ladies could play like that. Like I guess the thing is, when I look at these ladies that are on the South Carolina Gamecocks team, and I look at the standard of excellence, like I said, that they've shown all year, coming in ranked number 6 and then going to number 1 and just holding that and continuing to win week after week in different ways, with different lineups, with Cardoso gone, with Cardoso here, all of these things that they went through, they continue to get the job done. They continue to get the job done. But there's no reward for that in the end. That I don't get that part. That's the part I don't get. I get, we got it done the most efficient way. If somebody needed to go 30, then I guess they could. We've had players get 20 or so in a game, but it just hasn't been needed. It just hasn't been needed, and definitely could have let some players go off for 30 that have been hot if she wanted to, but out of respect for the game and respect for the other team, sometimes, for lack of a better way to explain it, Dawn calls the dogs off. Like, hey, okay, we got this at hand. I'm gonna look at some different options. I'm gonna play with my lineup a little bit. I'm gonna use this as some practice time, if you will. Getting some people playing together, finding out chemistry, seeing if people can match up together well, seeing if we can take advantage of mismatches, seeing if people can run some different screens off each other. Like just figuring out different options that we can use later down the line. But no real awards for that excellence, and I guess that's what's bothering me, because I guess at the end of the day, I feel like what what deserves awards is excellence. If you average 30 points on a loser, what does that really mean? What does that really mean? I feel like a lot of these ladies that are on the Gamecocks team could be starters and stars in other places and be, averaging 30 points, shooting the lights out, all kind of stuff. But they've scaled all that back to learn how to do things the right way and how to be a team. And that's just not being rewarded. It's blowing my mind. But I'm going to get off my soapbox about that. Let's run through these awards real quick. Coach of the Year, Dawn Staley, South Carolina. No problem there. Player of the Year, Angel Reese. When I looked at the numbers, you really don't get an argument from me here. Even missing some games, she was probably the cog that they needed. I don't even know if Angel was coming back when they needed her to come back, but there was a big time TV game coming on, and next thing I knew, Angel was back. So she's an important piece. But when you look at the SEC numbers, she's a leader in a lot of those categories. So had to respect that one. Freshman of the Year, I gave y'all my speech about that one, so y'all know that I expected the Freshman of the Year to be Malaysia Fuwali. I know that people are going to say Michaela Williams was on the floor 32 minutes. Michaela Williams averaged 14 points. And I'm going to say that Malaysia Fuwali was able to get 11 points in probably half that time. And the effectiveness of that is important to me. And I'm not going to let people say, well, she was playing in garbage time or she didn't start. Because everybody on the South Carolina team has a role that they specialize in, it seems like. And her role was to be the spark off the bench. And so even though her minutes were at the end of quarters instead of starting, she was the finisher. She was on the floor finishing quarters. And that's important. That's important in impacting winning to me. So winning matters. Impacting winning matters. Winning efficiently matters. Winning efficiently and not having to wear out your players matters to me. So for me, the Freshman of the Year was Malaysia Fuwali. No disrespect to Michaela Williams. She did some awesome stuff at LSU. She really held them down earlier in the season. But I didn't hear her name as we went into the home stretch, as Malaysia's name was kind of starting to pick up steam. So again, for me, starter versus finisher, efficiency versus inefficiency, winner versus not winning, undefeated versus some losses. I'm going with the winner. I'm going with the winner every time on that. Defensive Player of the Year, Camila Cardoso. No argument there. Sixth Woman of the Year, Leilani Correa. For me, Ashton Watkins. Again, impact and winning. This young lady could have been starting. She had earned the right to start and then went kind of back to the bench to make sure that she had kept herself in contention for the Sixth Woman of the Year because it meant something to her. Part of me almost feels like once it got out that that's what she wanted, she wasn't going to get it because then people knew that it meant something to her. And I just feel like sometimes there's some shots taken at South Carolina from behind from behind closed doors that the people just don't own. I just feel like it's some hate. It's some people hating out there. They're smiling and not really saying they hating, but they hating. You know what I'm saying? And that's what bothers me. If you hate us, hate us. I can't. It's nothing I respect more than somebody just saying, "Hey, I don't get down with y'all." No problem, because then I can respect that your team is your team and my team is my team, and we can agree to disagree on that and have a good back and forth banter and enjoy. But smiling like you really on the team and then hating for real, that's bold. I don't like that. So I'm straight on that. Ashlyn Watkins played her ass off this year. And the disrespect shown to that young lady by not giving her that 6th Woman of the Year is it's just unacceptable. It's unacceptable. And that's not a knock on Leilani. She had a great season, but she didn't impact winning the way Ashlyn Watkins did. Her defense, both sides of the ball, but her defense, her offense came on. And you can see it as she got more confident in her offense. It continued to come, but blocks, defensive stops, stepping in when starters weren't available, stepping into a starting role sometimes, but coming off the bench and being that 6th woman and that first one in there to say, we're going to keep this thing going, and being able to count on her in that role was super important. And I don't think that anybody in the SEC did a better job than her, so she would have been my 6th Woman of the Year. Scholar Athlete of the Year, Mama Dembele. I don't know. I don't know GPAs, so I don't have an argument here. Although I think Ashlyn Watkins also had a pretty good. I think she had a pretty good year as a student athlete. I may be mixing her up with somebody else. I did read that there was like at least one Gamecock who had a pretty high GPA. First team All SEC. The only thing that I can say here is that when I look at the 4 people that are here from 2 from LSU and 2 from Ole Miss, I don't see how you get 2 from LSU and 2 from Ole Miss and only 1 from South Carolina. Again, where's excellence? I feel like, for me, Tahina Paopao could have definitely been on this list, and Raven Johnson could have been on this list as well. I know that I'll probably get some pushback because people will say Raven doesn't score like that, but I felt like Raven a lot of times this year was defending some of the best players on the floor, and then still distributing and running the point guard really efficiently for the number 1 team in the nation, undefeated. And sometimes in a lot of games, she was impacting us with blocks. You can see Raven down there blocking. You can see Raven. I mean, Raven does it all. She fills up the stat sheet. So for me, Raven could have been right here, and Tahina Paopao could have been right here. And that's not a knock on Anissa Morrow or Angel Reese, Marquisha Davis, Madison Scott. No knock on them. Coach Yo is doing some great things down there. But yeah, for me, those 2 ladies definitely could have been on this first team. And so for me, the second team is where you get into, you played kind of good, but you didn't really win. That's where those people go. You had a really high points per game, but you had 6 losses. You went 4-3. You went 4-8. Whatever it is. Like this is where, wow. Individually you really did a great job, but you didn't impact winning because your team didn't have a winning record. This is where these people go on the second team All SEC, and I'm sure y'all may not agree with that, but let me know in the chat. Aaliyah Nye, Leilani Correa, Javin Nicholson, Flau'jae Johnson, Jessica Carter, Jerkayla Jordan, Raven Johnson, Tahina Paopao, Ashlyn Watkins, Iyanna Moore. All freshman team, Essence Cody, Talia Scott, Layla Reynolds, Aaliyah Del Rosario, Michaela Williams, Grace Slaughter, Malaysia Fuwiley, Camille Pierre. No arguments there. And then all defensive team, Angel Reese, Madison Scott, Mama Dembele, Camila Cardoso, Jordan Cambridge. I couldn't argue there. If it had been more than five, maybe Ashlyn Watkins or somebody goes on there for the work she did on the defensive end. But those were the all SEC awards. And that's kind of what I think about it. Like I said, I feel like the disrespect towards South Carolina is, and I don't even know if it's disrespect or if people are just, it's an expectation. And so when people are like, South Carolina's undefeated, it's like that's what they expect, so they don't shine a light on it. But it's a disservice to those young ladies, because it's a shame, that they put in so much work and they don't get hardly any recognition. They've been the number one team in the nation and probably one of the least talked about number ones that I've seen in a long time. They're not household names like some of the number one teams in the past have been. And I know people are gonna say I'm biased because I'm a Gamecocks fan, but I just, like I said, I feel like excellence is the standard, and when you start rewarding less than excellence and not rewarding excellence, I don't know what what you're communicating to those ladies. But I'm gonna get off my soapbox here, y'all. Let me know in the comments what y'all think about, like I said, the tourney recap. Let me know what y'all think about the SEC awards. I will be live tomorrow, so join me in the chat. Until next time, stay tuned. Talk soon. It's your favorite auntie with Uncle Tendencies. I'm out.